Hey guys, I'm out here finishing planting my beans. We're planting several different kinds of beans today. We're planting long beans, I think they're called yard beans actually. Yard beans, and then I'm just planting pole beans as well. How do you plant when you have layers and layers of mulch? I want to show you how to do that real quick today. Okay, so here I've already done some holes. I get all my holes prepped and then I go at it. Actually, in these two right here, I found some corn stalks that were still rotting. I had just cut those and left them in the ground. So you never know what you're going to get when you do the deep mulch and chop and drop method. So I just move most of this mulch out of the way that I can. It's kind of hard to see, I know, because it's dark right there. And I dig down to make sure I get to the soil. See how all that mulch is there? I don't want to be planting and all that. And there's a worm. Now I'm down here in the soil. And so what I'll do is I will put compost, backfill this with compost, some of this dirt actually too that I got up, kind of layer that in there. And then I plant in that compost, and I don't just stick the seeds down in between the hay. Look at that, you can tell it's really wet. The water's filling up from where I dug down there. So pretty easy. It's not too bad. I don't have inches and inches of black gold underneath here yet, but hopefully in a few years I will. Pretty exciting to see how it's going to change over the next few years. Okay, so I just backfilled this hole with some soil I got from the chicken coop, leftover potting mix, and now I'm going to take my seeds that have been soaking in water and a little bioag, like a probiotic for plants. And I'm going to put that on top there, and then I'm going to put some compost on top of that. So let me fish one of these out. Sorry, I'm getting it off there. Hey, you little wormy. So I'm not really going to put any pressure on it right there. I'm just going to take... I took my gloves off and now I want to put them back on because this compost got a little wet last night. We had some pretty severe thunderstorms last night. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw I was posting about it. We had some nasty storm clouds roll through and got some lightning and thunder and some hail. Okay, so I'm just going to grab some of this leaf compost, put it on top, and I'll take some hay and just kind of put around it. This hay is super wet. Take some of this dry hay. Make sure that bean is covered real good. And I'm not going to cover the seed. I could. It would come through the hay. But I just don't. I kind of make almost like a little nest. Got my compost down there, I've got my hay around it. If I see some slug action, I'll put some eggshells and things around it, but the slugs usually don't show up until the sprout does, so then that's when I'm really watchful. So that's how I do it. I hope that helps. I kind of look at it as I make my own little raised bed, because you know I have about 4 or 5 inches beneath this that is soil, and all around it is mulch and worms and compost. So every time it rains, those roots are getting fed by the mulch around it. And a lot of this mulch, it could probably move through pretty easily because it's the hay and it's breaking down. So that's why I like making this little nest in here to plant my seeds. So this is what I did a while back, and you can see I brought the mulch out and around. This is compost, little soil down there too, and then I put a little more compost on top and planted the seed on top of that. And it does beautifully. I actually planted 2 seeds here, and they both sprouted. Pulled that one out, and I very, very gently planted it over here. Same thing. Get down to the soil, build it, fill it with compost, and then I think I actually had some potting mix too from some of the leftover jugs that I've been transplanting. Put that in there too, and hopefully that will take. It had some really pretty roots on it. I got them all. Waiting on this one, I've done the same thing. I planted this not too long ago, so it hasn't sprouted yet. So just wanted to show you guys how to do that. I don't want you to think that I just shove seeds down in this 12 inches of mulch, because you just can't do that. There's a little bean that came off and it pushed it out. Just to note, a lot of my friends on YouTube and Instagram use wood chips in their vegetable garden. I don't do that yet. I'm slowly converting over there, but it'll take a few years. But if I was planting wood chips, I would do the same thing. And actually there's a mason bee behind me a second ago. Yeah, mason bee. Okay. Sorry, easily distracted by bees. The sweet meat squash that I planted a couple weeks ago, I planted in the wood chip section, more of the orchard section of our garden. And that's what I did. I pulled back the wood chips, I made a trench, I filled it with compost and native soil, and then I planted inside the soil. Pulled the wood chips closer to this, around the base of the plant. I don't even get it up against the stalk for a little while. The wind, the rain will do that naturally for me. So I hope that helps. I just wanted to make sure that you all knew how I planted, because you look at this garden out here and it's just layers and layers of hay, and I know that can kind of be confusing on what exactly does she do. It doesn't really make sense. So hope that helps. I love using deep mulch and I love no-tilling. It's an awesome way to garden, and I hope you give it a chance. Hope y'all come back.